Hello class, I welcome you to another English class. We'll be considering comprehension in today's topic. Before we go on to today's topic, I'm going to do a recap of last topic, which was spoken English on intonation. We looked at the definition of intonation, the pattern or types of intonation and the uses, which we said intonation is a rise and fall in pitch of voice, in the human voice. And we considered 7 patterns of intonation, but we looked at only 3 of it, which is the falling intonation, rising intonation, and the rising falling intonation. And we looked at some uses of this intonation. Now today, like I said, we'll be looking at a comprehension passage, which was extracted from UTME question. I hope you find it, the comprehension passage, interesting and educative. Read the passage carefully. Some questions will follow that should be answered. I'm going to read the passage to your hearing, and I hope you also do your own reading aside my own. Okay. One of the most potent elements in body language is eye behavior. You shift your eyes, meet another person's gaze, or fail to meet it, and produce an effect out of all proportion to the trifling muscular effort you have made. In normal conversation, each eye contact lasts only about a second before one or both individuals look away. Because the longer meeting of the eyes is rare, it is weighted with significance when it happens and can generate a special kind of human-to-human awareness. Most of the time, a lingering look is interpreted as a sign of attraction, and this should be scrupulously avoided except in appropriate circumstances. A young woman once complained, "That man makes me so uncomfortable. Half the time when I glance at him, he's already looking at me, and he keeps right on looking." Proper street behavior requires a balance of attention and intention. You are supposed to look at a passerby just enough to show that you are aware of his presence. If you look too little, you appear haughty. Haughty here in the passage is arrogance. And furtive. Furtive here also means sly or secretive. Too much and you are inquisitive. Much of high behavior is so subtle that we react to it only on the intuitive level. Intuitive means knowledge. This has been demonstrated in elaborate experiments. Subjects sit and talk in psychologists' laboratory, innocent of the fact that their eye behavior is being observed from behind a one-way vision screen. In one fairly typical experiment, subjects were induced to cheat while performing a task. They were interviewed and observed. It was found that those who had cheated met the interviewer's eyes less often than was normal, an indication that shifty eyes can actually be a tip-off to an attempt to deceive. However, none of the facts of eye behavior are caught and dried, for there are variations between individuals. I hope you were following while the passage was being read. Now, since we have read the passage, we'll be considering 5 questions from the comprehension passage. Number 1, the young woman in the passage was uncomfortable because A, she was allergic to eye contact, B, the man's short and sharp gazes would tip the relationship towards greater intimacy. C. Strangers who made the man's type of eye contact were likely to be dangerous. D. The man appeared to be showing interest in her by his prolonged eye contact. Now, I told you I will be looking at 5 questions from the passage. I will only answer question 1. Then the remaining question, you are going to answer it yourself, and you are going to do the submission on the Edmodo platform. Now, having read this question, the answer to this question is D. The man appeared to be showing interest in her by his prolonged eye contact. How did we come across the answer? Let's go back to the passage. Now, if we look at line 6, a young woman once complained, "That man makes me so uncomfortable. Half the time when I glance at him, he is already looking at me, and he keeps right on looking." Now we can, in addition, we can link it, we can also link the answer to line 5, where it says a lingering look is interpreted as a sign of attraction. If we look at what we have seen from the passage with the question, you will agree with me that the appropriate answer is actually D. The man appeared to be showing interest in her by his prolonged eye contact. So class, I would like you to answer the remaining questions. Question 2. Which of the following can be concluded from the opening paragraph? You tell me your answer. I'll do the marking. 3. The reason given for the non-finality of research results on eye contact is, I don't know, is it A, is it B, is it C, or D? You tell me. 4. The fourth one, from the finding of the research described in the passage, one can reason that. The last question, from the expression proper street behavior requires a balance of attention and intention, it can be concluded that. I await the submission of your answers at the Edmodo platform. I wish you well, and please continue to stay safe.